congratulations on finally starting that blog you've been talking about. But now you're at that point where you have 87 ideas, zero structure, and no idea what to write first. So you open the blank page and you title it and delete the title, and then you title it again and delete the title again. And then you close the tab and act like nothing ever happened. Maybe 20 minutes later, you come back to the computer and go, you know what? I'm just going to write and post and see what happens. I regret to inform you that this is not strategy. Your first 10 blog posts, they should be doing some work. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha, and welcome to A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I help day one entrepreneurs take that first terrifying leap into business ownership without completely losing their minds in the process. This channel is for the people standing on the edge of something really scary, but also equally just as marvelous, wondering if they are absolutely unhinged for even considering the jump. So I want to do just a couple of quick housekeeping notes because there are some differences. She's purple. It's a purple microphone with a purple cord and a purple boom arm. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I was so happy when I saw this, and it's from Rode. And you guys know that I love being loyal to brands, and I love Rode so much. I love the sound of their microphones. And I I did get the pod mic. I had I think it's called the Procaster, and I really loved the sound of the Procaster. But having two podcasts and using my podcast mic for my YouTube videos, I noticed that I was giving off a lot of like plosives, and you could hear like me take a breath. And even if I turned the gain down, it wasn't really helping that. So I thought I would try the pod mic because it comes with like a built-in pop filter. It's meant to help with plosives, and it came in purple. I mean, come on. Come on with this. Yes, I'm one of those people that loves to get everything in purple. Don't hate me. It's my favorite color and I love it. It's great. The second housekeeping note is torpedo. Very obviously here in the background. That bed arrived with my microphone because she either sits on my keyboard, she has stopped multiple recordings, she has deleted videos on me. She will sit on papers that I'm actively writing on. She just wants to be around me and part of my desk while I'm working. Most of the time she'll hang out on the couch back there, but there are moments where she'll hop up and just whoop deleted the video and I have to start all over again. Like I don't know what she does. She's a cat. She touches the keyboard and she has control that Apple doesn't even know the shortcuts exist, right? Like it's so wild. So I got her this bed that attaches to the desk and she loves it. And I think she loves being higher. I think that's a plus. It's attached to the desk. I think I did good there. And I have it on the side of the L-shaped desk that overlooks the only window in the studio with the window open. We're enjoying the view. She is laying this way, but her head's like towards the window. Anyway, I think I did good, but you might see more of Torpedo moving forward, and who knows, maybe Skull Crusher or Lolly. So, but usually only Torpedo's allowed in the office because she's the only one that doesn't scratch the couch. And last but not least, I want to apologize for the last catastrophe in the last episode about your first customer, where my eyelashes just exploded off of my face mid-sentence, which was so wild. They got fixed today, and they also have purple in them. So I'm very happy to report that there are really great upgrades, really great things. My boom arm isn't moving. Astrid hasn't been able to chew on any of it. So it's a good day so far today, you guys. It's a really good day. Okay, let's get down to business. Let's talk about your first 10 blog posts. Today's episode is going to be going through some SEO friendly basics, some different article styles that you could be writing, content pillars, all that kind of stuff. But first and foremost, what I think is truly important is when I talk about your first 10 blog posts, I don't mean like if you're posting once a week, this is your first 10 blog posts that you'll be posting over the course of 10 weeks. I'm talking about your first 10 blog posts that you should have ready to go when you launch your website. It's really rough to say that you have a blog and you launch an about page, a home page, a contact me page, and no blog. So I think it's really crucial that if you are starting a blog, you have at least 5 articles, but I think 10 is more foundational. And I'm going to go through like the different articles that I think you can kind of divvy up and just provide a diverse range of things for people to read so they stay on your page for longer when it first launches. But yeah, let's get started. Let's go into this and let's get you your first 10 blog posts so that your blog getting started is pretty awesome. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to think about the fact that you are building a library. You are not writing a novel. So when you are writing your blog post, don't sit there and say, okay, this blog post needs to contain literally every piece of information I've ever absorbed that I'm able to teach everybody. That's going to go sour real fast. You want it to be digestible. You want it to answer one clear question. You want it to focus on one topic, and it's easier for Google to crawl through and rank your blog posts and make you get more organic searches faster when it can tell that it's answering a specific question, providing specific information in a very organized way, and it'll add it to its higher ranking results. So just keep it succinct, right? Like don't go crazy. We're going to go over SEO tips for word count and stuff like that later, but just keep in mind that in general, you want to answer one clear question. Like if you're travel blogging, like what is the coolest thing to do in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico? Um, what are the hottest books on Book Talk for October of 2025? Like just things of that nature. Like there are different questions that you can ask for your niche and answer them in a very succinct way. Okay, next we're going to talk about content pillars. So content pillars are basically like what is the foundation of what you want to build authority about. So I think 3 to 5 content pillars to start is pretty decent. Like, there's just so much you can do, like solo female travel and photography were like kind of 2 big ones that I did, and also like books that you could read from authors from around the world, kind of thing. So, um, I always had like that storytelling element. So, but my content pillars were kind of like just very basic, but it was really helpful because it gave me direction for ideas for blog posts. It gave me ideas for like what am I looking out for when I go traveling. And that's really helpful for you, like whether you're writing about electronics or whether you're writing about, I don't know, ice cream flavors or whatever it is. Like if you break it down into smaller chunks and you focus on one content pillar per blog post, it really helps you provide like a lot of information on one specific topic. And if you use those content pillars, like people will see like, hey, this person is a wealth of knowledge for these like 4 topics. Like look at all these blog posts they have about these 4 topics. And it's just really important to start with content pillars. And this is super easy. This could be something like, say you're based in Japan and you want to do Japanese travel, there's one, but also like specifically like solo female travel in Japan. Maybe you do road trips through Japan, which is kind of like I think it's still like up and coming. So like there are certain things that you could be doing with a blog if you live in Japan that you want to kind of focus on a travel aspect where you can just do like 3 to 5 content pillars that are that, knock them out, and it could just be like, hey, I always go to so and so when it comes to road tripping through Japan. I go to this person because I know that they have like a ton of articles on places to go, places to eat, best places to stop, where to get gas, where to get camper vans, all that jazz, right? Like just think of those content pillars, think of answering pain points and questions for people, and the content will the ideas will literally just come to you. So bear with me. I am a little scrambled today more than usual. So I did write in my notes how to kind of divide up your first 10 blog posts. So your you want to have maybe 2 to 3 how to posts. This is how to do something. This is how to pack for a trip to northern Japan, which is much colder. This is how to road trip in Japan. This is how to hike Mount Fuji, right? Like these are how to guides. And they're very helpful. People love how to guides because people want to know how to do stuff. People want to know how to travel better. They want to know how to go to places. So, how to guides are just chef's kiss for a blog. The next I have are two listicles. So, listicles are when you're literally listing stuff in some type of numerical order. I have a bunch of listicles on my site. I have like 31 books that you could read throughout the month of October for Halloween, and 30 books by indigenous authors only, and books about Iceland, books for hikers, that kind of thing. So a listicle is just literally listing things out. The next are two opinion or insight pieces. um I have a couple of those. I have like a couple of like essay things. But they're also like gonna cross over with the fact that I think you should have one personal experience or like a mistakes post or something that is unique to you post. Um, and you should have a beginner guide, which should be like pillar content. And the last is a resource or tools post. Like, this is where you can go to get this information. This is really good for affiliate links. This is really good for external linking. This is really good for helping to get a couple pennies in your pocket and also help the crawling of your new blog that is now on the internet. Okay, so one of the biggest SEO tips that I could give to you is make sure your blog post is at least 300 words. And I think sometimes we either go, "Oh my God, that's so much," or "That's like nothing," or and make sure it's at least 300 words, because the thing is that like Google will find that if there are X amount of words, there might be quality and value to the length of the post. Now, I have blog posts such as "The Ultimate Guide to Mythology Around the World" is over 5,000 words. Do I recommend that every blog post should be over 5,000 words? No, 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 no. But that is like a special case, right? Like it's an exception to the rule sort of thing. But I think if you cap yourself at like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 words, like that is a good blog post. But just make sure it's at least over 300 words, because it's just really, it's one of the basics for SEO. It just makes it so much easier for everything, truly. Um it also means that depth is better than length. So don't be afraid to get in there, give the details, and give the value, and then end the blog post, but still do it with keeping SEO in mind a little bit. Um, if it is getting too long, you can split it into multiple posts. So if you're like doing like the best places to visit in northern Japan on a road trip, right? And you're like, "Oh my God, I've hit 35 places that you could visit." Maybe you could cut that down to two or three, right? Like maybe you could do like part one, part two, part three of best places to visit on a road trip in northern Japan. So, um, I at least I'm not using knitting as an example this time. I thought I would change it up because I use knitting all the time and I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to knitting. But you know what I mean? Like, break that up into digestible chunks. Like, I'm sure people would still click through and go and look at all three blog posts to see the 35 different places that you recommend that they go visit in northern Japan on a road trip. But if you have 35 in one shot, it's could be too long, especially if there's a lot of pictures, external links, that kind of thing. Let people discover the information through like pagination and sidebars and all that stuff, and recommendations and internal links that you have throughout the blog post of, if you're looking for more, go to this blog post. If you're looking for more, go to this blog post. Like, have them all interlinking to each other. Um, but like I just would say that if it gets too long and you're just kind of like, if you feel it dragging out, split it into multiple blog posts. Okay, I'm fidgeting with my hair tie. Write your content off your website. I cannot stress this enough. I don't care if you use Google Drive, if you use Dropbox, Notion, if you upload documents to Airtable, like literally whatever your process, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you pay for, whatever you don't want to pay for, whatever you're using, anything on your desktop, on an external hard drive, there's no right way to do this, but I cannot stress enough, put your content first off your website. And I say this because if you guys have been following my last like 10 days worth of videos, I accidentally deleted a core portion of my website. And the reason why I was able to recover so quickly is a restoration process through my hosting provider, which I'm very grateful for, but also I had everything saved in my Google Drive and I was just able to copy and paste it and just, reformat it a little bit when it got in there. But it was just so much easier. So if you find yourself in a pickle where you lose all your content, you have it in folders, right? So I cannot recommend enough to protect your work and have it off website. Do not rely on your website being the only place to house all of your content. So I try to go over statistics time and again, and throughout my blog and website statistics, I have shared that I think it was for 2025, mobile readers went up to 60.5% of the overall traffic that Google had reached. That means when you are writing your blog post, you want short paragraphs, clear headers, bullet points, and something that's easy to skim. And short paragraphs are like 2 to 3 sentences. You have to think of someone reading it on their phone. Now, I understand that like a lot of us have bigger screens these days, but still, you want people to be able to read like maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs on their phone. And you also want to take into consideration that if your goal is to monetize from your blog, especially from third party ads, you want there to be space for the ad to have room and also the paragraph. Like, you don't want to annoy people with a couple of words and things jumping at them for ads and pop ups and this, that, and the other. You want them to still be able to get that valuable information from you. So just keep that in mind. 60.5% of people are on their phones when they're reading through blogs. So be mobile friendly on your website. Be mobile friendly for your mobile users that are on your website, right? Which for me, I think it's like 80% of the people who visit my website are on their mobile devices. Like, it's pretty high. So I I just cannot recommend enough having shorter paragraphs. So you want to make sure you're using headers, subheaders, and a table of contents. I usually put my table of contents, and I've been inserting them in older blog posts as well as time goes on because they're actually quite good for SEO in Google. Um, like Google will read the table of contents and see how it's structured, and it reads your table. Your table of contents can be auto created just by telling what your headers are. It just auto populates them. And this, it's just like you don't have to do any work for it. It's super easy. And it lets your reader navigate through the blog post. Like, say they need something very, very specific, they can just click on it and it takes them down to that header. And also, Google will crawl through and it'll be like, oh, this is a very organized blog post. Look at all of these headers that they're using. Woo, high ranking, organic traffic, right? Um, the other thing about using headers is you want to make sure you use your SEO key phrase in at least one or two of the headers and subheaders because that also helps with the ranking of search results and stuff like that. So just keep in mind when you're writing, like, write everything out first, like get your first draft out, but then when you go through and you edit and you kind of reorganize it, start dropping your SEO key phrase throughout the blog post and also in at least a couple of the headers. So this way it makes it easier to rank on your Google searches. Now, I do want to kind of dive into the blog structure types a little bit more because I think I have some notes here that I think it would be really helpful for you is that when you're creating listicles, you want them to be quick and scannable. You want them to just be super quick information that someone could just go whoop, boop, boop, got it, got it, got it. Your essays are about voice and authority. This is based on experiences that you've had. This is based on experiences you've had with hotels, or experiences that you've had in Japan, or experiences that you've had as a woman in Asia. Like, there are multiple things that you could be writing about that give you, that let you share your voice and authority on a topic. So just know that that's what you could use essays for. There are informational posts that you want them to answer questions. If it's meant to be informative, inform people of stuff, but know what the question is that you're answering. Don't just go like, well, I hope I'm answering people's questions. Go like, no, this blog post is going to answer this one question. Make it very clear, make it very um, obvious to the reader, like, yes, I'm answering this question for you. And then last is a sales post. You are going to get to that point where you partner with people, and you have affiliate links, and you have sponsored posts, and you're monetizing, and you're selling your own products and stuff like that. Guide them to the offer. Don't just be like, hey, buy this stuff. It's a blog post and you want to buy this stuff, and guide them to it, right? Like, market yourself throughout, use other blog posts and internal links to kind of showcase what it is that you do and your authority over topics and stuff like that. But guide people through the blog post as to what it is that you are actually selling. Okay, and very specifically, actually answer the question. Don't be clickbaity, don't be vague, actually give value. If you give real value on your blog time and again, not only will you get repeat visitors, which is good for your blog, but you will start to gain more organic traffic. People will come to you, people will see you as an authority figure. They will want to buy from you. They will trust you, and whatever it is that you point them in the direction of in terms of resources, products, affiliate links, whatever. So just keep that in mind. Like, when you are writing these blog posts, like, provide value. It's okay to provide value. I assure you it's fine, because then when you do start to come out with products, or you try to monetize on just your blog and you don't want to do products, which is also an okay road to take, then you will find that it will be very beneficial in the long run to have a blog that has lots of value and people hanging around on it, because then you get more from third party agencies and stuff like that. So don't be clickbaity and make it seem like you're answering a question, but you're not answering a question. Like, actually answer a question. Create content that is unique to you. I think this is something that is sometimes people can hit the road running with this, and then sometimes, like me, you get very self-conscious about what it is that you're doing online, and you want to do everything correctly, you want to do it professionally, you're representing yourself, your business, whatever. And I think it's really important to know that, like, it's your blog. So, my favorite example of this is Adventurous Kate. If anybody follows her, she does sort of like monthly wrap ups and quarterly wrap ups and stuff like that. And I just think they're so great, because I really don't see anybody else consistently doing something like this. I've seen her do it for years. Now, she might miss a month or two here or there, right? But she's been doing it for years, where she does a monthly wrap up of, these are the books that I've read this month. These are the places that I traveled to. These are like my favorite restaurants that I ate at. This is what me and my family did. Or I didn't travel, and this is why I didn't travel. Like, she gives life updates. She's very relatable. She shares what's going on in her life, and it builds connection and consistency. And I think it's also really easy to incorporate some type of staple post that you can say, hey, every month I'm going to post this one type of post. And now you know that, like, if you want to post once a week, every month you already have an idea ready for you. So you don't have to think of as many ideas moving forward. So just know, like, put your personality into it, put your brain and thought process into your own blog, and just come up with something that's unique to you. Like, yes, have how to guides, yes, have foundational content, have stuff that people want to get information from, but also be yourself. Share something that is unique to you. Do you need to have that right away? No, but eventually you're going to stumble upon something, and you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to do this every month, or I'm going to do this every quarter, or whatever. I know some bloggers, that's what's unique to them, is they share their quarterly finances or their annual finances. That's a big deal for a lot of people who are looking to get into blogging, or looking for, to be nosy or whatever. But There's always like something that somebody is doing on their blog that's unique to them and their brand. Don't be afraid to add visuals in your post. I always have some type of featured image at the top, and I try to throw pictures in there to break up the monotony of just text. But it makes it easier and more engaging to break up your content. And also, please make sure you're using the alternative text option so that people who have accessibility needs are able to have the image described to them. So please make sure you're using that feature, especially if you're in WordPress. It does give you that option to describe what the image is showing. So that also helps your SEO. There are certain blog settings that matter as you write your blog posts. There are something called tags, and at least in WordPress, there's an option on the right hand side that you can enter tags for each blog post. This is if, say, you're writing a post about something and it's an Easter egg, and you just, for the heck of it, want somebody to search on your blog Easter egg, and you want this specific post to come up, type in the tags, add Easter egg, right? Like if you're writing solo female travel and you want to make sure that this post comes up in a solo female travel search on your blog, type in solo female travel, solo women travel, women traveling, like kind of give variations as to what people might be searching for. But you want to utilize that tag option because that will associate it with very specific keywords that people will be using to search your website for content. So if you think someone's going to go on there and look for potato on your website and you're like, you know what, this post is about potatoes and I just want to make sure that this pops up, make sure you put potato as one of the tags. It's just very helpful to the user experience of people who are coming across your blog. You want to organize your content on the front end in a way that makes sense. For me, especially because I started as a travel blogger and photographer, we know, Tabitha. Um, I organized it by continent and by folklore and by books and writing and photography. So I had like each continent breakdown and then the tags for, whatever post. So if you type in a country, something will pop up, that kind of thing. But, you can have categories that are based on destinations. You can have categories that are based on solo women travel, solo travel in general, road trips, regions in the continents, like especially if you are like, say you live in the Balkans, you might have a continent in general for, the other continents, but you might have a Balkan specific region on your blog because, hey, like you so easily travel between these several countries and you're an expert and you're building your voice and authority on these things. So you might have those countries listed very specifically because that's kind of where your authority is at this time and place. So just, think about the structure of how your blog is going to be set up before you actually launch it and the categories that each of your blog posts will be facing on the front end for that user experience. Okay, so one of the last things I want to talk about is you want to connect your posts together in some kind of way. Look for opportunities to put internal links in your website. This is really good for SEO, especially when you create a new blog post and you link it to an older one. It helps it get crawled a little bit quicker because they're connected via a link. And it I also think it helps people stay on your page longer because if you're like, hey, if you found this blog post helpful, you might also find it helpful that I wrote about this. Um, for me, it was like, hey, here's a guide to taking pictures of the Northern Lights. You might also like the fact that I wrote about folklore about the Northern Lights, and then I have both posts linking to each other. Um, so it's just really helpful to keep people on your page that way. And it's really good for SEO. This is also a great way to look for opportunities to have external links in your blog post. It's helpful for SEO. It's not like vital because you can get away with not having external links, but just think resources, references, affiliate links, that kind of thing. Anything that would take someone off of your page is an external link. So do it with the greatest intention of, I know that this person is going to leave my site if I put this link in here because this is vital information. But if you're always a resource for vital information, it will be helpful and beneficial to you in the long run, like I said before. So um you know, just be very mindful of the external links, because like if you go willy-nilly with it, you'll just keep sending people off of your site when really what you want them to do is click through, stay a couple of minutes, and help your ranking and your bounce rate and all kinds of stuff. You want them to help your analytics, and you want your website to be successful. So just make sure you kind of keep those things in mind, as you're building these blog posts. And I know it feels like a lot, right? But I truly wish someone had given me this information when I first started my blog, because I was writing like the most random things. I have hundreds of blog posts archived that were like, that could have been a Facebook status update. Like I just distinctly remember I have a blog post called Hello from the Labrador Sea, where it was just, hey guys, I got Wi-Fi on my first flight to Iceland as my first international trip. I'm currently over the Labrador Sea, and no pictures, no SEO. Like it was just like, I don't know, like a paragraph, and I posted it like a blog post. And I just wish someone would have told me how much effort it goes into providing really good content, but also that effort is getting that good content discovered on Google through organic searches. So you just want to keep in mind, these things as you're building these blog posts. And this is why I say in, a couple other videos that out of all the content that I create, with the exception, I think, of doing like world her story research, but I'm talking about doing my YouTube videos, doing any type of social media content, batching, editing, whatever, out of all of that stuff, blogging is by far the most time consuming thing for me, because I want to make sure I get the SEO right. And it's just like making sure the keywords are there. And the longer your post is, the more the keywords should show up. There is a ratio. And it's it's very time consuming to go through. And when you compare yourself against Yoast, who's a very good SEO tool, and you sit there and you're just kind of like, oh my God, I'm red across the board. Like, why am I not in the green for my SEO? And you have to go through and look, well, you don't have any images, or your images don't have any alt text, or just things of that nature, right? Like, you want to do right by the people who are looking to find this information. You want to do right by your website. You want to do right by yourself and the opportunities that it will award you later down the line. So just keep these SEO basics in your head as you write. This isn't meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to set you up for success. So I do hope that you understand why I went through this list the way that I did. Um, but to kind of wrap up talking about your first 10 blog posts, you want them to be ready to go and published with the rest of your pages that you want visible when you launch your website. It's just so good to go, hey, I launched a blog, and have a blog available for people to visit. I launched my website as tabithabear.com, had nothing. I didn't even have a homepage. I didn't have pages. I didn't have an about me. And I was like, hey, I just bought my own domain, guys, come and visit it. And people were like, there's nothing there. Like, literally, I had nothing there. Like, not even like, welcome to tabithabear.com. I had nothing. So people were messaging me and they were like, hey, we're really excited for you, but are we missing something? Like, there's literally nothing on your website. And I was like, oh, would have been helpful to have something on my website, wouldn't it? Here I am. I launched a travel blog, and there was literally no travel happening. There were no travel posts. There was no, hey, I'm a travel blogger. Like, there was no information. So if you're launching a blog, which I am assuming you are if you're watching this video, please make sure you have like 5 is a good number. Like, if you start out with 5 blog posts, that's really great. But if you could get 10 blog posts published and ready to go when you launch your whole website, like that, it's just so helpful to the beginning of your website. And it makes you feel good to see the analytics, because usually your first few visitors are people you know and people who want to support you, so they're going to go through and read everything, and your analytics are going to look really good, and it just helps you move a little bit quicker in the crawling stages with Google and its organic searches. So um but listen, don't I say all this information that I'm like, don't overthink it. Just provide digestible content. Your blog post should be answering one clear question or providing information about sort of one clear thing. You're building a library, remember that. So if your blog posts are each like 500 words a piece, but they are consistent and they are very valuable with information, and then you're doing great things. You're doing great things. So, but if you were to need any help with your blog, as I used to be a full-time blogger, Hot Mess Triage is open, and I help people on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays with their business. And I did also start this Your First Blog playlist on YouTube that I'm going to be adding to a couple times a week for different dynamics of the things that you could be doing with your very first blog and setting you up for success. So check out that playlist if you're not on that playlist already. Look me up in my Stan.store link and book with me on my Hot Mess Triage, and we'll get like a whole plan together for you for your blog if you really want to sit down and go over that. So um but yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope it wasn't daunting. Please know I didn't throw all this information out into the internet to just go like, these are all the things you need to do. These are a lot of things that are helpful for you to do to be successful. And it's very annoying and kind of discouraging to not do them from the start and have to go back and do them later when it comes to SEO and stuff like that. When you learn more about it and stuff like that. So if you set yourself up for success now, it's a lot less that you have to do when you learn more or when you're updating your website, etc. So I really truly hope that you found this helpful and not at all me like just badgering you with like this is the only way. It's just good to know is that I didn't have when I started, because I started with literally just tabithabear.com, and I think it was like a gray purple lavender background. Like it was really ugly color. Like it was, you guys, it was just a bad situation. I just wasn't thinking. I didn't Google anything. I just wasn't thinking about that. So I digress. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Please like it, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.